Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Black Book Podcast. We have a good friend of mine, Mac, here on the line with us in this meeting. Mac is like a comedian, and this guy's been all over Asia, kind of. I know he spent a lot of time in Japan, and this dude is here gonna make us laugh today. So Mac, really quickly, dude, before we actually get started, can you just introduce yourself real quick?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? My name is Mac, aka Hei Long Dong, aka Dick Danger, aka that nigga you know. I'm out here in Shanghai. I used to be in Beijing, but it was too dirty, and I could wear no white shoes, so I left and came down to Shanghai, where it's a little bit cleaner and bitches look better. Yeah, I'm just out here. It's nice, man. I'm happy to be out here. You know, it wasn't, like it was on the list, but it wasn't the first on the list.
Right.
But money wise, it looked, very, redeemable. So that's why I'm at. I used to live in Japan. Lived there for about like 10 years, and started comedy out there. And I saw that there's comedy over here in China, and I was like, let me bring my black ass over here and check it out, see what's popping. You know what I'm saying? See what this thing is like. But then you realize once you get here that you can't say everything you want, and that's kind of a damper on comedy, right? So that's where I'm at, baby.
Yeah, I know that shit has to suck to literally be censored, because that's like all the American comics talk about, like how we got to fight against being censored and shit like that, especially as a stand-up comic. But doing that shit in another country is like you can't fight against that shit at all. You just gotta toe the fucking line. But before we get into your comedy shit, though, I want to ask you about. So you were in China. I know I met you in Beijing back in 2018, right? When you first moved to China, I think. When you first moved to China. But you were like, but you weren't fresh to Asia. You weren't fresh to Asia. You were in Japan, like you said. You were in there for 10 years. But what led you to Japan?
Being a black man out in America after I got out of the military, I just didn't feel like I fit in. There was a big difference, like I got out of the military, and like before I got robbed, like I'm burgled. I got burgled. I remember I was running one day, and I was still in the military. This was like a couple months or so before I got out, and I was running, and the cop pulled me over. He was like, "Yo, what you doing?" I'm like, "Running." He's like, "Why?" It's like, "For my health, motherfucker." Like, what the hell? So, and that just, kind of that stuck in my mind, that even though I was in the military, even though I've done, 9 years, 6 months, 4 days, 8 hours in the Marine Corps, that some things just don't change. So when I got out, I was trying to get a job, and it was good for low-level jobs, but they weren't really hiring. And at that time, it was it Bush? Yeah. Bush was in office, and it wasn't so great. The economy was just tanking. We just finished up we were still in the recession. And I made a decision. Like, Obama came out and he was like, change. Yes, we can change. And that's why I was like, yep, I'm changing. And I changed countries. I left. I was like, fuck this. But, it was weird, because when I was leaving, I made the decision to come back to Japan because in the military, I was already here. Like, I came visit, was my first duty station. Okay. So that gave me like the wherewithal to understand a little bit more, and I wasn't afraid, right? I think that's the biggest thing about traveling, is people are afraid of what they might encounter. And the military kind of broke me out of that fear. So when coming back was easy. Like, I had a girl at the time, ex-girlfriend. She was like, yo, you should come back to Japan. And you said you want to study Japanese. Come back and study Japanese. Do your thing. I said, all right, word. So I was sitting there. I was doing my barber at the time. And I was like, yo, me and my barber was sitting there. We smoke a bowl or blunt and then play some Madden. And he'd be like, hey, dog, what you doing? What you about to go? What you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to Japan. He said, oh, it's for real, dog? When you leaving? I'm going to leave like in about 3 or 4 months. Cool. Now, the thing about niggas back at home is that they don't believe shit. So, like,
Yeah.
I would say like maybe a month later, all my stuff is sold, right? Like, I mean, I guess it's good now. I mean, like all my stuff is sold. I sold my living room set. I had a brand new living room set, leather couches and stuff like that. Sold that, and sold my TV and other stuff. The bar come, he said, "Dad, where all your shit go? You got robbed again? You got burgled again?" I said, "No, nigga. I told you, I'm leaving." He said, where you going?" I said, "Nigga, I'm going to Japan." All right, bro. All right, all right. And then like he still didn't believe me. And then like I was literally walking out of the place, getting ready to get in a taxi to go to the airport to take a flight and leave Florida. He said, "Where you going?" I said, "Man, fuck out of here." And I was like, "I love you, dog." And I was later on.
Hey, for real though, that's the same
And
shit. Like when I was in Chicago, telling my for like the first time I was going to China, getting ready to go like 6, 7 months away. And I was like, motherfucker, I'm going to China. And motherfucker was like, for real? And I'm going like, yeah, motherfucker, for real. Like, why would you have to say for real? Like, when have you ever known me to lie to you about some shit like that? Who the fuck would make
yeah,
up that they going to China?
but then
Yeah.
but then again, like you know what I mean. Somebody says you're going to China. That is a little bit of a stretch of the imagination. But when they see it in action and they still don't believe you, they think maybe you're gonna go to jail, like you're trying to get, you know what I mean? They don't know, and they
Yeah.
don't, and they're supposed to be your friends, they're supposed to know. And I tell them, I was like, this is what I got going on. I'm planning on going to school and doing this. Oh,
Right.
really? I said, yeah, I got my paperwork and everything. Oh, really? Okay. Where you going? Fuck out of here, dude. Anyway, so that brought me to Japan, and I started off with the language school in Osaka, which is great. And it was, and to be honest, and I'm gonna let you in because I know your viewers out there might want to know, but it wasn't an easy time for me. After I got out of the military, I went through a lot of depression, and I had to go see a doctor. And well, I didn't have to go see a doctor. I went to go see a doctor because I knew I was fucked up. And
Okay.
mental health is a real thing, right? Like it's something that you have to deal with.
Right.
Um, Long story short, the doctor says, "Hey, man, don't kill yourself. What you need to do is go do all the." He's like, "What do you want to do in your life?" I said, "I want to do this and this and this." He says, "Well, go do those things.
Right.
Go do those things that you want to do. And if it's something in your way, find a way around it or push it to the side, and then go circumvent it and go do the things you want to do." After you do all, I gave him a list of all the things I want to do. And he says, after you do this list of things that you want to do and you still feel like you want to kill yourself, go right ahead. Now, I don't know if that sounds doctorly advice, but it sounded
Right.
cool to me because at that time I was depressed and like, it was true. It felt really odd. Like when you get out of the military, it feels like you're taking away your legs a little bit, especially when you don't know what to do next. And you're in the middle
Right.
of a recession, working 3 jobs. You have a house payment, you have a car payment, and you know what I mean. You're barely getting by, and nobody's really there to help you. You can't go back to your family. I mean, even though the family's supposed to help you, but they got their own lives. You know what I mean. You don't want to put any burden on anybody else.
Right.
So, family was not an option. It was more like just do or die. And that's how I felt. And it felt like a time where I needed some help. And a guy, and I can't remember his name, for anything, but he helped me where I'm at right now. I won't ever forget that.
Okay.
As a black
So,
dude too. So
so you got help before you went to Japan.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So then when you went to Japan, you studied in Osaka. You studied Japanese in Osaka.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, oh, I didn't go straight. Well, the first thing I had to do is I had to get my visa and all the paperwork
Well,
straight, right?
yeah. Like we
Yeah.
can skip past that.
Well, I
So like,
mean, so I I left Florida and I went to
right.
California.
Okay.
I stayed in California for like 3 months with my sister.
Okay.
And this is where like you have family that my sister loves me. She's awesome, but at the same time, she's still a nigga. So uh, one of the things that she wanted me to stay. She wanted me to stay. She's like, "Why are you going to Japan?" You know, and this is that whole thing about the fear of doing things in life. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
um, if you've ever read any great novel, like the first novel with Gilgamesh, you know, you
Yeah.
have to leave all the things that you feel that keep you in one place and venture out into the wild of the unknown. Anybody who's ever done anything substantial with their lives has forgotten about, has left what the fear is. They left that fear
Right.
and they faced that fear, you know, of the unknown and went into it and came out victorious, or you know what I mean? Like you have to go into it to be anything, right?
Right.
And I had my sister and she was like, "Oh, you should stay here and you know, why not?" And like, you know, why you going to Japan? You want to learn Japanese? They got Japanese people here. We're America. And I was like, it's not the same, you know.
Yeah.
So long story short, I left and now they're happy. You know, now they look at it like, oh, we're gonna come visit you. My sister came to visit me. My brother came to visit me. My cousin came to visit me.
Right.
You know, they have a place to stay. They have a place to chill. You know, so that's what I do it for.
Okay. So I want to get to Japan. So when you got to Japan, you went to Osaka.
Yeah.
And and so were you in a university studying, or were you just studying?
No. It was at a Simon Gakko, which is like a language school.
Okay. Okay.
You know, like EF basically,
Yeah. Okay. So you went to a language
right?
school for Japanese.
I went to a Japanese language school. Yeah,
Okay.
and there's a bunch of Chinese people there.
That's interesting. All right. So like, how long did you study at the language school?
It's out of the 2 years I did like a year and a half,
Okay. And
about a
like,
year and a half.
where's your Japanese at? Like, like, can you go do just about anything you want?
So that's a weird one because when you say I can go do anything I want, I can. I mean, I'm fluent in a lot of ways. I can read, write, and speak Japanese. Um, yeah, I'm fine. Like probably need to brush up on a little bit of it, but other than that, I mean, I can survive. I used to work at the city hall in Tokyo,
Okay.
um, so like I interned there. So that was fine. Like I'm able to get by, you know,
All right.
easily enough.
So for 10 years, what were you doing? So you're working at City Hall, you're studying, like, what else did you fill your time up with?
Well, city halls later on. First was Osaka. Did a year and a half there. We'll just say two. Then after that, I had while I was there, they had a guy that came in from the military that he was looking for a school to go to, and he found this school, which is a very popular school in Osaka, and we connected. You know, like yo, what's up, man? Blah blah blah, boom boom boom. And he's like, he later on, as we became friends, he told me about Temple University that they had in Tokyo.
Okay.
So Temple University was the next school I went to. So I'm sitting there at my house, had this girl over, and was sitting there playing like PlayStation. Then you hear this big earthquake. It's like, boom! Everything starts shaking in Osaka, and that was a big earthquake of 311. And I was like, yo, I gotta go. And I'm slated to go to Tokyo. So I come up and visit, and I come see like there's Tokyo's deserted at that time. Like it was nobody on the streets. It was very in a bad place at that time. And I was like, well, this is where I'm gonna be. Uh, and
Wait,
I moved to Tokyo.
what year was that earthquake? Was that that was before the tsunami, right?
It's 2000. What was that? 2000 and 211, I think. I want to say 211.
2011.
But yeah, this is 9, 10. Yeah, 2011. 311, 2011. Right
It's
after the earthquake, I moved.
it's the same year their women's team won the Women's World Cup. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's when Japan got fucked up. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I moved to Tokyo, and yeah, it was cool at the beginning. Tokyo. Well, I wouldn't say it's cool in the beginning. It was rough in the beginning. Tokyo, if you don't have the connections or the money, it's gonna be rough.
I mean, what I hear about Japanese people usually is like, they're very close knit. Like, you can't really like walk up to someone and start talking to them and be friends. You have to like sort of know them through someone.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going into the how the society is run. Um, Japanese when Chinese people say that they're shy, they don't fucking know what shy is. Chinese people are like, oh, I'm shy, bitch, you ain't shy. Japanese people are shy, and they're not curious. Chinese people are curious. You'll be on the train, and you have your phone in front of you, and then somebody be like looking on your phone, like, what the hell
Looking
is
through
he
your
doing?
phone. That shit happens to me all the time, bro. All the time.
You know what I mean? They will. That's something that's I've noticed about China. They're very nosy. Like I'll go to the Walmart and I'll say, I'll talk to one of the staff and I'm like, excuse me, can I? I'm looking for alcohol. I'm looking for Q-tips and alcohol. And they don't know, so I got to pull out my phone and do the translation. I'm like, nah, nigga, and she's like, you nigga. I was like, no, this right here, nigga, like nigga. And you'll get like some old man, with his hands behind his back, walking by slowly because he ain't got shit else to do, and he'll just stop. He'll literally stop right beside you and be in your conversation. Be like, "The fuck y'all talking about over here?" Like a crackhead, you know what I mean? Yeah, this crackhead old man. This is like, nigga, I ain't got no crack on me. Move your ass out the way.
Hell no.
So like, that's they're nosy. They're very nosy. You know what I mean? They want to know what the hell's going on. Like having an accident in China is the worst thing because
Oh,
everybody's going.
it'll fuck traffic up for at least 2 hours. It'll fuck traffic up, bro.
Yeah, like
I've seen that
for
shit happen
for
before.
for somebody that for a flat tire. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yo, no, look at that. Somebody got a flat tire. They're calling their friends up. Shema, somebody got a flat tire on the tire. What the fuck you talking about? Just move. But that's how it is. Japan, on the other hand, they're not, it's not a close knit thing, right? It's more of like my I'm by myself, and you have your circle, right? And you have your circle, and you don't really let a lot of people in your circle. So like, where are you from? Detroit, right?
Chicago.
No, Chicago. Chicago. So it's like you being from Chicago, hanging out with your Chicago homies from your block. and then you go out somewhere, and then we all meet somewhere, like whatever, and it's like, yo, what's up, man? How you doing? And he's like, oh, where you from? Chicago. Oh, okay, where we can hang out. Then you meet another dude, like, oh, where you from? Oh, I'm from Florida. Oh, okay, cool, man. Nice to meet you, dog. All right, cool. I'm out later on.
Right, right,
Kind of feeling. You still chill with them, but you're not like, you know.
yeah.
And the closer that you are by streets, in like if like as your homie from like your dude from that hood, that's going to be the closest person to you. Then after that, it ranks outwards of people you care about,
Right, right. I
unless you can
understand that
make a
concept.
yeah.
So, like, as a
So we're
foreigner,
out.
how do you get in these circles in Japan?
Drugs are a good way. Weed connects a lot of people. That's just fucking
Okay.
amazing.
Okay, let's say you don't drink or
Uh,
you don't do drugs. You came to Japan to do a job, but you still want a social life. So you go out to a bar. How do you talk to people?
pussy. Is it pussy? Pussy gets you a lot of places. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
like
they shy.
if you have,
But she's shy. So
oh, you can
how do I
still.
talk to
Oh,
her?
you mean talking about like? Are you talking about like in the circle of guys, or are you talking about like just meeting girls?
Just not just meeting. I'm just saying, just meeting anybody in Japan, right? Because Asian people, notoriously Japanese people, are very fucking shy. You just said this, right? And so, like, if if
Yes.
if they're more open up to people who are in their circle, but you as a foreigner is nowhere in their original circle. So how do you get
Well,
into these circles?
learn learn the language. That's the
Okay.
key of anything. One, because they're shy because they don't know how to talk to you.
Right.
But if you learn the language, once you learn the language, you start talking like guala guala. Hey, what's up? How you doing? They're like, oh wow, they're a little bit intrigued. They're intrigued by that. Anybody would be, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if you saw like an Asian person came, what's up? What's going on, homie? What's cracking? You're like, what's up? Who this dude right here? You might be a little intrigued. You know what I mean? Like
I'll be a little
if you see
intrigued,
if
but
you when,
then I'll
like
you ain't
it's like when
real.
you meet a cool. It's like when you meet a really cool Chinese person or anybody that's not black. And I mean, they don't have to speak our vernacular, but they speak English very well and they seem very chill. You're like, oh, okay, that vibe you put off. You know what I mean? It's all individual. There is
Yeah.
no secret. It's an individual thing, right?
Right.
For me, how I met people, just my personality and my charisma. I go out and I meet people. Hey, how you doing? I just smile and be happy. And then you're gonna miss a lot more than you get, right?
Okay. So the
Um,
naturally charismatic person would do okay in Japan.
yeah,
That's what you're saying. Okay. All right. Yeah. Same thing in China then, right? Okay.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like you're not gonna. That's anywhere in the world, right? That's gonna happen. That's not like it's a secret to anything. It's just like be yourself, but be a better portion of yourself, a better version of yourself, right?
Okay. So right,
Smile and
back to my original question, right? So um and so you moved to Tokyo and you were studying at Temple. Is that what you said?
yeah,
Okay. And so
yeah.
after
I went to
Temple,
Temple University. Yeah.
okay. And
So
after Temple,
studying at
what?
Temple. After Temple was like the shit, man. Like Temple started off, and I double majored, so it took me 5 years or four and a half, and I just had to wait till the graduation. Um, so actually, no, it did take me 5 years because I took a summer off, so I can have my graduation at a certain time versus waiting. Um, so finish university now, and then I started working. I got like during the time I was there, I made connections with a couple of people um, that were just in the right positions. It was it was just after you move there, you get out and you're having a good time. And I met a lot of people. And meeting a lot of people, I got to meet people in the right places. That whole story about living there is a whole different world. I lived the life that most people really don't know, like would never be able to live. It was so freaking just wild and crazy, wild and fucking crazy.
In Japan.
Oh my God, geez, yeah, I did. Whew. You remember that DMX song when he's like,
Which one? Shit, which one?
"This is what these bitches want from a nigga." Yeah,
Uh,
it was Tina, Teresa, Fatinta, like that, like Shaniqua, Keisha, Kana, woo, Sharonda, like that, like that. That was like my third to fourth year, and yeah, my fourth, fifth year there.
so you
Um,
just
I had
running through hoes. That's what you're telling me.
running, nigga. I was walking.
Walking through. Okay.
I was walking. I was collecting them all. Like I was like a Pokemon master, nigga. It was amazing. Um, yeah, it was great. It was a good time. A lot of great times. A lot of good people.
You
So
got into
anyway,
comedy.
yeah, my brother, man, my brother got me into comedy. My brother Vince Taylor. Shout out to my boy Vince. He was like, he came out and visited me. Like I went back home and I saw him, and we haven't talked in years. And he came out to visit me, and he's like, "I'm gonna do a tour out here." I was like, "Let's do this." We did a tour, 3-city tour: Fukuoka, Osaka, and then Tokyo again. Came up there. He's like, "Yo, get on stage." I was like, "Word." And it was just that, for comedy, and anybody that's doing comedy, that first initial laugh, and when you get that and you get that feeling, you know what you want to do for the rest of your life. Like that's it. You figured it out. You're like, oh, I got it, and that's where I was at. That was my moment, and I knew from that point on that I was going to do this.
Okay.
And it was a satisfying feeling. It was a satisfying feeling, like you know, it's something, especially when you're in your 30s and you're getting older, you don't know where you want to go. That was a feeling that you just want to be like, yep, I got it.
So what you talk
So
about? What do you talk about in your comedy?
I can't say I'm a political person. I can't say that. I'm a person about life and general things that go around me.
Oh, my
You
bad, my
know,
bad. Before you do that, what's your? You said it already, but you gotta tell me again. What's your stage name?
it's Mac, but in China it's Hei Long Dong.
And what does Hei Long Dong mean?
If you don't know, no,
I know what that shit means.
it was a joke that okay. So actually, this is really weird because I was in Tokyo at the time, and I was working at a school that was owned by Chinese people, and the owners are Chinese. They were from the owner. One of the owners, he's a university professor at Peking University, and we were chill and like I was talking to one of the girls and I was like, "Yo, what is your name?" Like I couldn't get. She always had like a different name. She had like her name was Ping, but then like she had an English name and I didn't understand that, right? I was like, "Why do you have this?" She's like, "Oh, because my name is Ping, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So she's like, "Oh, you know, if you ever go to China, you should get you a Chinese name." I was like, "So what is the Chinese name?" She said, "Well, it's something that usually, means it's something like that has a good meaning, right? As a who you are, it kind of dictates who you are or whatever, right?" So I'm like, all right, cool. So I was sitting there, I already knew kanji, I already knew how to write. So I was like, all right, let's look at something. Let me see. Black. And it was just, hey. And I was like, ooh, Bruce Lee. I love Bruce Lee. What's that? Long. And then I was like, Hey Long, shit. Hey, what's the word for dong? And she was like, dong, what do you mean? I said DONG. And she's like, oh, that means hole. I said, perfect. Black dragon in a hole. That's right. That's hits right up my alley. So that's how Hei Long Dong was created. And then I had that way before I came out here. I mean, it was years. I came out here, and then it was just something that caught on. It was just more like a thing that you get on stage. You're like, oh, what's your name? Hey Long Dong. You're like,
Hey
oh
Long
shit.
Dong.
And some Chinese people don't get it yet. They still don't get it. Like you'll say, I'm like, what's your name? Hey Long Dong. And she's like, oh, that sounds weird. I'm like, uh-huh. It is weird, baby. Long, kind of long, ain't it? They're like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember, man. I saw you do one of your sets in Beijing at Boxer Cat, and you explained your fucking name. And like there was a
And it was
Chinese
just weird
girl,
because they're like,
the Chinese girl at the front. She couldn't understand what the hell you were trying to explain to
she
her.
couldn't grasp the thought.
She couldn't grasp it
I straight.
because in America we fuck around, like especially black people, right? We'll fuck around and say something like I got a long dong, you know what I'm saying? In a quick minute, right?
Yeah.
So like us as Americans, even though we don't actually know what that shit means in fucking in Chinese or Japanese, you know what I'm saying? Long dong to us means fucking, fucking somebody got a long big penis, and shit like that. So, yeah, your name actually has a fucking real meaning in Chinese, but this is like double entendre type shit. You know what I'm saying? Where like you say it to the right person, they go, "Oh,
Triple
nigga,
entendre,
what?"
baby.
Yeah, triple entendre.
Yeah, just keep it 100, baby. But yeah, like coming out here was a blast. Except, I mean, you worked at EF with me, right? That's kind of
Yeah,
how we kind of got connected through EF. And fuck EF.
dark,
If
the
you out
dark
there listening,
days, dark days.
fuck y'all. Fuck EF. EF is garbage, yo. They,
Hey
I
man,
swear to God, I think,
AF is good for getting your feet down on the ground. After that, yeah, you gotta bounce.
yeah, but they try to put your feet inside cement when they get here. Like, you
Yeah.
know, I swear to God, I think they got like an airplane that just goes to Johannesburg and just picks up niggas and crackers and bring their ass over here like it's a slave ship. Cause it's a lot of South Africans out here, and they all work
Oh,
in the EF up.
that's because they don't mind. That's because they don't mind. That's EF's new bread and butter, right? So I don't really want to talk about this, but I'll say it. That's their new bread and butter because and so if they come and get somebody from the UK or the US, right? They're gonna pay us the same as a person from South Africa, but we're not going to appreciate that pay as much as the person from South Africa. Why? Because the renminbi is worth more than the rand. Like that's just what it is,
Yeah,
right? So a person from South Africa, they come to China and they make X amount of dollars. They're gonna try as hard as they can, even though we all saving. They're gonna try, their motivation is like 10 times more than ours because they already know that one of theirs equals X amount of theirs already. You know what I'm saying? So like they don't have to
yeah.
do all these calculations and stuff like
But
that. All they know
and
is they
what
just
they're
gotta
doing
sell.
is what they're doing also when they do when companies do that, they're not stupid. They're not stupid at all. What they're doing is they know um, that once they get in and they get into a certain, like say if they quit, it's going to be harder for them to find a job because they have that South African passport. They have that South African passport, and they just don't feel like, and especially China, don't feel like they have that English skill.
Yeah, I mean like
It's really messed up.
yeah, that
It's a
that's
trap.
that's another trap,
Admiral
man. Because
Admiral Akbar, baby.
a lot of people, especially like you come over as an American or a person from the UK, maybe even Australia, and one job don't work out, you can go peace, find the next job. I know I done did that a couple of times already, right? Including working at AF after I
Like,
finished working. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, somebody from Africa who actually comes over and work, it's actually a lot harder than to find out to bounce back and find a job real quick because they're gonna go through the ringer. It don't even matter. I mean, like, unless they white, to be honest, if they're like one of those white South Africans, they might get a pass. You know.
Uh, that whole the whole thing about that the whiteness is a banger. Like it's such bullshit. You know what I mean? They look at it and like, oh, you're white. You can white is right. You know, white is right, and that's how a lot of people feel or think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Underneath the underneath that exterior, like, oh no, everybody's cool, it's fine. But you know, to be honest, when they
Yeah.
go hiring, looking at people, they're like, oh, white, probably good.
Yeah.
Unless they
Absolutely.
need, if they need somebody, they want, you know, if they need somebody, they'll get whoever. But they say, oh, white is right. Okay, let's roll. You
Yeah.
know, and they're
I
biased.
mean,
It's fine. I understand that.
yeah. I mean, like, dude, it's so bad sometimes. Like, like I've seen job ads that go, "We're looking for anybody who's like they go. We're looking for a European face or some shit like that." They'll say that to let you know they don't want anybody black, or like in some of these smaller towns in China.
Yeah.
But China isn't the only Asian country that does this. I think most Asians actually have the same mentality though. When it comes to this, but I've only been in China, so I can only speak about China.
So that's what. So this is what I'll say. Japan isn't. How can I say this? Japan is a little bit more fair when it comes to that.
How so?
You know what I mean? Even though because they discriminate on you as a foreigner versus you being black or white.
I
They
mean,
still have it.
China will do it too, but then it's like levels to their
Yeah, I know.
discrimination. Yeah,
But I'm just saying, like, I felt that more personally. I felt that more here than I have in Japan. Like I felt more like I know, like in Japan, I felt very safe as a black man because I'm like, they just look, oh, you stupid foreigners. They don't really give a crap about. And black people are actually kind of on the up, going up in Japan. You know what I mean? I got lots of friends that are doing really great things, you know, out
right.
there. You know, matter of fact, if you look at the chick who just won the Osaka, Miss Osaka. She won
Okay.
the Wimbledon not too long ago, and then you had Miss Japan, like the Miss Universe. Miss Japan is half black.
I didn't know that.
That's
Okay.
that's a come up. That's two world famous Japanese people that are half black. You know, they're doing a lot. You know what I mean? They're doing a lot. My homeboy, Artel, he has the first. He's the first foreigner. First one. Well, I would say foreigner, but he's the first black foreign animation studio in Japan,
Really?
and is doing wonders. If you're out there, if you ever seen, it's on Netflix. It's called Sturgill and Verge and Sturgill, something like it's like this anime rock video kind of thing. It's kind of cool, but he helped do the animation for that. They
Okay.
do
I'll check it out.
animation for Naruto, all kind of stuff. Man. It's awesome, you know. And this is a black dude that started a company, and it's my homeboy Ice, man. I used to hang out with him in the clubs. So, like I said, I was able to meet people that are going places and doing things, and
Right.
those people influenced me to do what I'm doing now. So, you know, I think the lesson that I learned is that, you know, like as we're growing up and growing out, there's people that are like, oh, I'm about to go do this, and just because you see them, you discount their status. You discount who they are. Like, oh yeah, you know, but you have this disbelief. You know what I mean? Kind of like that. Like my homeboy back at home, he's like, oh yeah, you're gonna do this. Oh, when you doing this? You know, they don't see They only respect end result. They don't respect the process, and the
Right.
process is the most important. Like to get a million, you got to start with $10. You know what I mean? You got to start somewhere. And a lot of people discount those people, like, oh yeah, oh you sure you can do this? You can. Oh, you sure you can? You want to do that? You know. And that's how I feel about comedies. When they say, "You sure you can go out and do comedy in China?" Because you gotta be, you can't say certain things. You gotta be. I know what to do. Don't stand in my way. Because a
Right.
long time ago, I had a feeling, and I told myself I'm not gonna let nothing stand in my way. And you is one of those motherfuckers, and I'm not like going to stand in my way, so I'm gonna move around you and keep going my way.
All right, but so before I end because we getting close to that time and it's getting late. Um, I got
Yeah.
a couple more, I got a couple more questions for you, right? So one thing I want to ask you about, doesn't it's not related to what you do because we kind of already touched on this because you were talking about being black and Asian and stuff like this, but like you as a black man being in Asia, do you find yourself like no matter if it's Japan or if it's China, do you find yourself like um sort of like um managing your behavior as a black person, like managing your blackness in a way?
I manage my blackness anywhere I go in the world.
What do you
You
mean? What
you
do you
you
mean you manage your
absolutely have
like how why?
so well, you and I both know. Come on, man! Like it's code switching. Code switching is something that we do. Whether we're talking to John, hello, how you doing, John? It's great, wonderful to meet you. Okay, you're talking to like sister, what's going on, my queen? How you doing, baby girl? Everything chill? Talking to your homeboys, what's up, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? What's cracking, baby? About to go get this. You know what I mean? It's code switching. So wherever you go, your attitude has to be in check. When I'm at work, you have to be able to differentiate the difference between work and play, right? It's the
Yeah,
same
of
thing with black.
course.
I mean, you just can't, like, you want to call, like, you see some shit, like, some fucking dumbass people, you know what I mean? Like, but that's just you, you know what I mean? Now, is that blackness? Maybe, but sometimes I see white people do some stupid shit.
Oh,
Like,
of
ah, you
course.
dumbass. But
Yeah.
then, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna call it out. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy. If somebody asks me a question, I'm definitely gonna be an honest person. I'm like, but yeah, you manage it. You have to.
Okay, so are you saying that like most of the time in Asia you are not like 100% your just authentic self?
Unless I'm on stage. When I'm on stage, I know who the fuck I am. Yeah,
And
I got in trouble. I got in trouble for I had this basically I had this joke. Um, is this going out in China?
it will, yeah.
Fuck it. Um,
It'll be like a couple months from like a month from now though.
Grand opening, grand closing. Check this out. No, it was basically this. It was during the time George Floyd came out, right? And true story. I walked outside of my building, and this Chinese guy, he's sitting there talking. He comes up to me, and I'm with this chick at the time. He's like, hey, are you going to the Black Lives Matter protest? And this up in Beijing,
Right.
right? And he just, I didn't know why he talked to me. He just said, "You going to the Black Lives Matter protest?" I was like, "What Black Lives Matter protest?" And it's like, there's a Lives Matter protest. I was like, in China? And he's like, yeah. I said, in Beijing? I heard that there's Black Lives Matter all over the world. I was like, no, man. The last time they don't have protests in China. The last protest they had in China, they made pancakes. And then the guy was like, huh? I was like, never mind, I'm out. So they're like, oh man, why did you say that joke? And I was like, well, you understand that, right? You
Yeah.
know, the last time they had a protest, they made pancakes in China. They ain't trying to have no protests again. So
That's a good way to put it. I mean, you didn't. It's a way to say what happened without saying exactly what happened. Yeah, I like that actually.
yeah, it's a good way
Yeah,
to do that. But you know, and then once again, that's not even a bet. That's not even a great joke. It was just that people like, you can't. You said that they made pancakes. Like, yeah,
yeah,
I didn't say human pancakes. You know what I mean? We know they did, but that's anyways. You have to manage these things, and I feel like there's a big difference in like how you have to live here. And you still get some bitch ass niggas no matter where you go. Some bitch ass white boys, some bitch ass black dudes sometimes, you know?
So what
That
do you
happens.
like? So you got the comedy thing. I know you're teaching out here in Shanghai right now, and I know last time I was with you, you said you had an online presence. You mind on expounding on that real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of I do a lot of workouts. I wake up around like 5 o'clock in the morning and I go work out. Usually I do like a video. Uh, just to keep people motivated. It's out there. You can check me out on Instagram. It's Badass Marine 97. Um, that's BADASSMARINE 97. Or you can just look me up, Gary McCaskill, um, at Instagram, I guess. It's on Instagram. So yeah, I try to get out. I try to do those things. I'm working on a couple other projects. I just have to be able to like make the, I don't know how to say it, like the not the budget, but the time to do videos where I go out and just do like, how is it living in Shanghai? People want to know. I think people want to know. I'm sure they do want to know. So
Yeah,
that's what we're there for.
absolutely. All right, so you got that going on, and like, is your comedy online? Anything like that, or you just have to
Yeah,
see you live?
we got comedy. Duh, if you want, you gotta come see me live. I'm not doing this fucking online shit where people are doing. Comedy is meant to be in front of an audience. It is meant to be live. It's meant to be there for you to experience and enjoy at that moment. There's only so few people that could do it really great and do a really good job. But it's supposed to be a surprise. Like we watch Dave Chappelle. He's a goat. You watch Rick and Chris Rock. He's a legend. You watch Dale Hughley. You watch all these other great comics. But these guys are solidified in our lives. So you're watching a new comic, it may find it funny, may not. But it's always better in live. So if you're in Shanghai, come out to the Real Shanghai Cafe and Bar over in Yang Road. Or you can check us out at the Brew House every Wednesday night. The Brew House over by Jiang Temple every Wednesday night. At starting at 8 o'clock, and then you catch me right back at the Real Shanghai Fridays and Saturdays. Um, Come check out the process, man. Like I said, it's a process, not the. If you want to wait till the results and stuff like that, that's cool. We have shows on Saturdays and stuff like that. So I appreciate you do.
Absolutely. All right. So on on the show, tradition is to give the guest the last word, and then we end the show. So whatever you want to say right now, it's all up to you.
Um, Wear a mask, wash your hands. I love you.
All right, man. Well, that is very true. Wear a mask. Absolutely. Well,
I'm talking.
I'm Eric, and this is Mac, and this is the Black Book Podcast. All right.
I'm just on a mission. I'm trying to live my dream.